Hello and welcome back to my FBL channel. I of course am the FBL train, and in this video we're going to be looking at possible transfers to go for ahead of game week 5. Only got 3 of course, I don't want to do too many, so 3 as usual, 1 defender, 1 midfielder and 1 striker. Now before we go through those, we're going to go look at the 3 that I recommended in game week 4. Now I'm just going to point out it was a low scoring game week 4, so you know, don't be surprised with the results of these players. I mean, you probably already know anyway. But we'll go first with Mazraoui. We'll talk about that one first then. So 6 points he scored overall. Pretty decent to be fair. Well, of course it's decent. He got a clean sheet. Not many teams really got a clean sheet. And most defenders we all probably own didn't get a clean sheet. So if you had Mazraoui, I wish I probably said that wrong now. But if you had him, you'd be buzzing. Yes, he went off with a knock in that game and he is flagged up. But I do think he'll start game week 5. No problem. But yeah, 6 points from him, so that's a pretty decent pick to be fair. With the midfield change in Luis Diaz, I mean, come on, this one was a bit of a stinker really, wasn't it? He came away with 3 points overall, got that bonus point from keeping the clean sheet. Now, I don't own Luis Diaz, I own Diego Jota. And obviously both of them came off at the same time. One of them decides to sprint off the pitch and get off the pitch before the 60th minute. The other one takes a nice little stroll. Unbelievable, isn't it? So obviously I only got 1 point, but you know, Luis Diaz, if you owned him, you got the 3 points. So I guess you'll be buzzing about that, because obviously as Jota owners, pretty peeved about that. So yeah, he only got 3 points. He did hit the post though against Forest towards the start of the game, so that was really unfortunate. It was a decent effort as well, and all on its own. So yeah, that was unfortunate. I mean, none of us expected Nottingham Forest to be beating Liverpool, and even if they did, nobody expected Liverpool to blank either. So that was a massive, probably the biggest shock I'd say from game week 4. But yeah, that was really disappointing. So only 3 points from him. So if you did get him in that your team for just so far this game week just gone, that's pretty unfortunate. But nothing's more unfortunate than being a Nicholas Jackson owner. Thankfully, I am not that person. Even though I did recommend him, and I recommended him because he's actually got off to a decent start. He's got 2 goals this season already, and there's only been 4 game weeks. Now I did watch the Bournemouth game, and he was naff. He was really naff. He had about 4 chances to really score against Bournemouth, and that wasn't the case at all. So yeah, it was a hard watch. I think the frustrating thing as well, as I said, he's only got 1 yellow so far. Even though there's only been 3 game weeks, he's only got 1 yellow. You remember him last season? It was like every game. Well, he got another yellow card against Bournemouth, and again, it was because he won't shut his mouth up. So that's now 2 yellows in 4 games. So it's 50% now. So I wouldn't be surprised if that keeps rising. So yeah, he only got 1 point because he got the yellow card. And the worst thing about it as well, especially 1 if you're a Jackson owner, and 2 if he was an Nkunku owner. So obviously Nkunku's come on for him and gone and scored. So that also means 1, you'd be peeved off if you sold Nkunku, and 2, he could easily replace Jackson now for game week 5. I mean, I'm not so sure, but it could happen. So if I was a Jackson now, sorry, but I would be a little bit nervous. But you got to take the gamble and go for him for game week 5. If he is benched though in game week 5, you got to sell him. So yeah, even though I said get him in game week 4, it could be a possible sell for game week 6 already. But yeah, 1 point from game week 4, especially the performance, well, the chance he had is really naff. So then let's talk about game week 5 transfers then. And first up on here I've got Ola Aina of Nottingham Forest. I think I've said that right. He's 4.4 million, right? And I love this. I love that he's 4.4 million. So he was 4.5 million at the start of the season, right? He's gone down since then. And this season he's came away with a 9 pointer and an 8 pointer in 4 game weeks. And he's gone down 0.1. Now the reason why he did go down is literally just because game week 1. He only played 53 minutes in that game, and loads of people decided to sell him for, oh, he's not worth it. Since then, he's played 90 minutes in the last 3 games. So if you sold him, you must be fuming right now, because he got 9 points against Southampton, where he came away 3 bonus points. And then he's just scored 8 points against Liverpool, where he's got 2 bonus points. So he's a bonus point merchant so far. No assists, clean sheets locked in. Happy days, really, if you're an owner, or if you're an Einar owner. And it gets better, because you look at the fixtures he's got coming up. Brighton away, that is going to be a tough game. Don't be surprised if that's a 0-0. Fulham at home is a decent fixture. They could do a 1-0 on them there. Chelsea, look, yeah, that will be a tough one, so don't be surprised if he concedes. Crystal Palace at home, you can see them doing well there. And then Leicester away. Decent set of fixtures from now to game week 9. So for 4.4 million, right, that is an absolute bargain. With how well as well Forest are playing this season. You know, Nuno Santos, when he was at Wolves, was always known to, you know, shutting up shop with Wolves. He looks like he's doing it with Forest so far this season. So definitely worth a punt and getting Ola Aina in your team. The midfield change. Now I thought this was going to be a differential. Is Mbumo. I love that name, Mbumo. Now quite a few people are actually bringing him ahead of game week 5, which was surprising because they do have Spurs away. So I did think nobody was really looking at him until maybe game week 6. But yeah, this guy, you know, he's an absolute scorer. Well, he's a pretty decent scorer machine, put it that way. Wizard could be out. I need to double check it really, but I don't know how long, or if it's been announced yet, how long Wizard's going to be out for. Obviously Tony's gone now, and the guy who they brought in to replace Tony is injured for a long time himself. So Mbumu's definitely going to be starting up front. He's definitely going to be on penalties. There's no argument about that at all. So now you look at the fixtures that he's got coming up. Now we've got Spurs away. That's a tough game on fixture, right? Or on fixture, on paper. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. That's a tough fixture on paper, right? But there's a few things to think about when you're going for a midfielder slash striker. It doesn't matter if they win, as long as they score or get the assist. Now we've got Spurs away, and Spurs are known for having a very, very high defensive line. If they have that against Mbumo is rapid, man. He's absolutely rapid. So on the counter, he could absolutely do Spurs in this game. So maybe that's why other people have looked at getting him. That's why I'm definitely going to recommend definitely recommend going for him. I would like to go for him at the minute. I can't, just because I've got other issues in my team right now. But definitely look at getting him, because after that he's got 2 fixtures in at home against West Ham and Wolves. Definitely score against those 2 teams comfortably. Man United are diabolical at times, so he could easily score past them. And then game week 9 he's got Ipswich at home. So next 5 fixtures I can see him scoring in all 5 of them. He's more than capable anyway in scoring in each of these games. So he's definitely worth looking at. He's 7.1 million. So he's pretty decently priced as well. So he's definitely, you know, worth getting into your team. I definitely want him in my team. I can't get him for game week 5, but game week 6 onwards, I really want Mbumo in my team. Now then, that leads me on to the striker, and it's Calvert-Lewin. Now, obviously most people, well, I'm guessing everybody who watches this video has watched, you know, the Everton game against Aston Villa, where he did score, so that means he's now got 2 goals in 2 games, which is good going for Calvert-Lewin. Hopefully that continues. 5.9 million, which is pretty cheap as well, considering a couple of seasons ago it was 8 million. So he's definitely dropped down. He's already dropped down in price this season. But why would I recommend going for him? Because obviously, like I said, we all watched that Villa game where, my word, he missed so many, well, good chances. He should have scored an hat-trick in that game against Villa. He only came in by 1. But here's the positive. This is the best I've seen Calvert-Lewin for a few seasons now. He's played 90 minutes now in the last 2 games. That was a big worry about him as well. He was coming off early. He hasn't the last 2 games, which basically Sean Dyche is saying, look, we're struggling here. We need to score. Calvert-Lewin's probably the only person that's going to really put in the back of the net. He's a machine in the air. I'll give him that. He's quality in the air. He just needs, you know, his decision making at times. If he scored the hat-trick, we'll all be trying to get Calvert-Lewin in, but he didn't. So not a lot of people are really looking at him, but he's 5.9 million. If you got Wizard, like I have, who could be out for some time, straight swap there would work out a real treat, to be fair. Because you're looking at Everton's fixtures, man. Leicester away, he can score there. Crystal Palace at home, you can score there. Newcastle at home, I mean, it's at Goodison Park, so slight advantage there. If it was at St James's Park, I can't see it as much. But still, Ipswich away, could score there, and Fulham at home in 9. He could score 3 goals in the next 5 games. I'd be really happy if I was a Calvert-Lewin owner. They really need him to score as well, because obviously they're rock bottom in the Premier League, so it's a big thing for him right now to do. So it feels like kind of a no-brainer. And let's face it, in terms of strikers, there's not many to go for. Obviously, Erling Haaland is the essential. Then it's a case of, well, do you want to go Ollie Watkins, because obviously he's just scored those 2 goals, possibly. Then who else really is there? Tony just went off at half time. Not Tony, but my God. Isak just went off at half time for Newcastle. So is he worth having right now? His fixtures aren't great. Not really. The only other option I'd probably say is probably Jamie Vardy. Is that knee-jerk because he scored? Maybe Chris Wood. So there's not an awful lot out there. So yeah, 5.9 million Calvert-Lewin, decent fixtures. I definitely think he is worth looking at going for. So then, those are the 3 transfers I definitely would recommend looking at, possibly going for ahead of game week 5. The fixtures look good for all 3 of them. All 3 of them are in decent form right now. So yeah, let me know what you think of these 3 transfers that I'm recommending, who I definitely think you should really look at going for. Let me know what transfers you guys are making ahead of game week 5. And please, before you go, please do not forget to like this video. Even if you didn't like it, just like it anyway. You know, it just helps me out. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you all on the next one.